In the dark world of Panem, where survival is a daily struggle and power is the ultimate currency, Suzanne Collins, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes unearths the story behind one of the most notorious characters in the Hunger Games universe, Coriolanus Snow, long before he became the tyrant president that would rule. Panem with cruelty and control, he was just a young man with dreams of restoring his family's once glorious legacy. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes takes readers on a haunting journey through Snow's transformation from a determined yet naive boy to the cold, calculating villain we know from the Hunger Games. Set during the 10th Hunger Games, the novel offers a fresh perspective on the origins of the games, the capital, and the complex dynamics of power that shaped the future of Panem. The story begins with Coriolanus Snow at the Capital Academy, where his family's fortune has dwindled, leaving him with no choice but to fight for his survival. Once a powerful and respected family, the Snows are now living in poverty, with the looming shadow of the capital's elite, leaving Coriolanus feeling helpless and vulnerable as he navigates his way through a world of political intrigue, family drama, and societal expectations. Coriolanus is presented with an opportunity to restore his family's honor. He is chosen as a mentor for one of the tributes in the 10th Hunger Games. The games, at this point, are in their infancy, brutal and experimental, far from the entertainment spectacle that they would later become. The stakes, however, are just as high for the tributes, and Coriolanus must learn quickly what it takes to succeed in this cutthroat environment. His tribute, Lucy Gray Baird from District 12, is a unique individual, one who stands out not just for her charm and charisma, but for her singing talent. Unlike most tributes, Lucy Gray captures the attention of both the Capitol audience and Coriolanus himself, as she uses her voice to captivate, entertain, and ultimately survive. Lucy Gray becomes both a symbol of defiance and a reflection of the Capitol's cruelty, a contrast to Coriolanus's growing thirst for power. As he trains her to survive the games, he begins to develop a complex relationship with her, one that is both professional and deeply personal. But Lucy Gray is no passive pawn. She is a force of nature who refuses to be controlled, and she will test Coriolanus in ways he never imagined. Coriolanus' character arc is one of the most compelling aspects of the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. From the beginning, he is driven by ambition and a desire to rise above his circumstances, and his journey is defined by the choices he makes, choices that ultimately shape the man he will become. As the novel progresses, Coriolanus is forced to confront his own morality and the cost of his ambitions. He begins to see the capital for what it truly is, a corrupt system that thrives on exploitation, manipulation, and cruelty. The more he becomes entangled in the games, the more he realizes that the path to power is not just about being clever and strategic, but about making difficult, often morally dubious decisions. As the Hunger Games evolve, so does Coriolanus' understanding of power. Throughout the novel, Collins delves deeply into the nature of power, how it is acquired, how it is used, and the consequences it has on those who seek it. For Coriolanus, power becomes an obsession, something to be acquired at any cost. Yet, it is his relationship with Lucy Gray that ultimately forces him to confront his values. As Lucy Gray navigates the games with a combination of cunning, wit, and performance, she challenges Coriolanus in ways that no one else has. Her ability to charm, her resilience, and her refusal to be a victim in the games make her a formidable opponent, not just for the other tributes, but for Coriolanus as well. The tension between the two characters is palpable, as Coriolanus grapples with his growing feelings for Lucy Gray, while simultaneously using her as a means to achieve his own goals. This dynamic creates a rich emotional conflict at the heart of the novel. It's a battle of survival, but it's also a battle of ideals. For Coriolanus, Lucy Gray represents a challenge to his worldview, a reminder that there is more to life than power and ambition. But as the games progress, Coriolanus' obsession with control and success ultimately leads him down a darker path, one that will forever alter the course of Panem's history. Through Coriolanus' eyes, the reader is introduced to a world that is as dangerous as it is fascinating. Collins paints a vivid picture of the capital, a city built on excess, cruelty, and inequality. The capital's citizens are portrayed as both morally corrupt and ignorant, their lives filled with luxury at the expense of the districts. At the same time, we are given a glimpse of the oppressed districts, whose residents are forced to live in squalor, while being used as pawns in the capital's games. The contrast between these two worlds is stark, and it highlights the inequities that fuel the Hunger Games and the capital's control over the districts. The tension between personal ambition and the greater good is a central theme in the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. As Coriolanus navigates the murky waters of mentorship, competition, and loyalty, he is forced to make choices that define his character. Will he align himself with the capital and secure his place in the new order? Or will he break free from the system and fight for something greater? The novel explores these questions with nuance and complexity, making Coriolanus' eventual transformation into the villainous president we know from The Hunger Games all the more tragic. In addition to the compelling character development, the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes also provides a fascinating look at the early stages of the Hunger Games themselves. The games in this iteration
are not the polished, highly produced event that readers are familiar with, but a cruel and chaotic experiment that is still being refined. The tributes, treated as little more than fodder for the capital's entertainment, are forced to fight for survival in a setting that is both brutal and unforgiving. The games themselves are a reflection of the capital's values: exploitation, control, and the manipulation of the masses for sport. As the novel progresses, the stakes grow higher, and the true nature of the games is revealed. At its core, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is a story about survival, about what people are willing to do to survive in a world that is stacked against them. It is about the cost of ambition, the corruption of power, and the choices we make when faced with impossible circumstances. As Coriolanus Snow's journey unfolds, readers are forced to confront the darker side of human nature, the part of us that is capable of both great acts of kindness and unspeakable cruelty. This book is a haunting reminder that the line between hero and villain is often much thinner than we think. In conclusion, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is an unforgettable exploration of the origins of one of literature's most iconic villains. With rich characters, a deeply immersive world, and a plot that is both thrilling and thought-provoking, the novel is a must-read for fans of The Hunger Games and anyone interested in a story about the complexities of human nature. Collins masterfully weaves a tale of power, ambition, and survival that will keep readers hooked until the very last page. Whether you're a long-time fan of the Hunger Games series or a newcomer to the world of Panem, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is a book that will leave a lasting impression.